Good morning, Redwood Chapel family, and happy Easter. He is risen. He is risen indeed. It is early in the morning up here on one of the ridges in Castro Valley. Just one of my favorite spots to come any time of the day, but it's especially beautiful at sunrise and sunset. And just thought I'd take a few minutes to do what we would normally be doing together on Easter Sunday. And that's our sunrise service. And just taking an opportunity to reflect on the fact that the tomb is empty. The tomb of Jesus is empty. And most of you who know me know that I really enjoy mornings, just kind of as a rule. I like getting up early in the morning. It's not because I have a whole list of goals and things that I want to achieve in the morning. It's more because I just find that the mornings provide an opportunity for fresh hope and fresh hope for a new day. The slate has kind of been wiped clean. I usually don't wake with a lot of things on my mind, although there are times that if there's a lot of things happening or a lot of decisions that need to be made, that I do wake up with kind of that anxious feeling. But for the most part, I just kind of wake up and I get going in the morning. Excuse me, there's a bug in my ear. I get going in the morning and just kind of get a fresh start on the day. And I'm just going to pan the camera around and show you what I'm looking at here as I sit up on the ridge. See across Castro Valley over the Lake Chabot area, and just a beautiful vista up here. And I really miss the fact that we can't be together this morning for our sunrise service. When I think about one of the things that I really enjoy about the sunrise service is it gives me an opportunity to reflect on what that morning might have been like so many years ago. In fact, most historians believe that Jesus' crucifixion was in 33 AD, so that'd be 1,987 years ago. Imagine just for a few minutes what it would have been like on that Sunday morning when the disciples woke up, when Mary and Mary Magdalene woke up, and what they must have been thinking about having just experienced the crucifixion of Jesus just a couple nights before. And they know that he's been laid in a tomb, and those early risers, those who normally get up early, I don't know if they normally got up early, but they got up early that morning and they went towards the tomb. Now, I mentioned that I like to get up early because it provides a kind of a sense of hope for a new day, but I can't imagine that may have been their thinking, that they would have been hopeful. In fact, they probably were hopeless on that Easter Sunday morning as they approached the tomb. All that they thought that they understood about Jesus seems like it was just kind of wiped away in a matter of hours. With the trial and the betrayals and the crucifixion and then ultimately Jesus' death. And man, that had to be such a hard reality for them to face on that Sunday morning. So hope was probably not at the front of their thinking. But the interesting thing, of course, is that they get to the tomb and they find the tomb is empty, and that hopelessness sparks something, and it sparks an opportunity for hope in their life. And I just want to reflect for a few minutes on the reason that we have hope. And I was thinking about the book of Revelation. And the book of Revelation, John, one of Jesus' disciples, likely one of the very first ones to get to that tomb on Easter Sunday morning. He's now at the end of his life. He's exiled onto an island called Patmos out in the Mediterranean. And it says in Revelation 1 that on the Lord's day, while he was in the Spirit, he had a vision. And the rest of the book of the Revelation is about the vision that John has. And the beginning of the vision, he's brought to a place where he sees this figure, this amazing, bright, hair that's white like wool, just this amazing kind of regal figure that is up there in his vision, and he's scared, and he's wondering what it is that he's seeing. And Revelation chapter 1, in verse 17, it says this. It says, "When I saw him, I fell at his feet as though I was dead. But he laid his right hand on me and said, 'Fear not.'" Isn't that beautiful? One of the most often repeated refrains in all of Scripture is the command to fear not. Don't be afraid. If you trust God, if you trust God is powerful, if you trust that he's good, you have no reason to be afraid. And so this figure puts his hand on John's shoulder and says, "Fear not, for I am the first and the last, and the living one." Pay attention to me, John. I am the beginning, and I am the end, and I'm alive. In fact, it goes on to say, "I am the living one. I died, and behold, I am now alive forevermore." And Easter sunrise, Easter morning, gives us an opportunity to say, yes, Jesus is alive. And not only is he alive now, but he is alive forevermore. And Easter just feels like one of those holidays that needs to be celebrated in the morning. It's got this fresh sense of newness to it, and new hope and new life. And so he goes on to say, not only am I alive forevermore, but listen to this. I have the keys to death and Hades. Everything that you know about life, that you are born, that you live your life, and that you die, I have the key to all of that. And with these keys, I can unlock for you life eternal. I can unlock for you a fresh hope, a fresh perspective, a fresh way of living. And not only a fresh way of living, a life that is like mine, a life that invites you into my life so that you don't ever have to experience final death. Yes, your bodies will decay. Yes, disease can enter your body. Yes, you will die, but your death is not the end, because I've got some keys that will unlock life and death. And death for you is just a step into your final place of hope. And the rest of the book of Revelation goes on to talk about that process and what it meant for the early Christians who were facing persecution to rest in the fact that Jesus himself holds the keys to life and death. Man, on Easter or on any day, that's a reason to hope, and just a beautiful thing to think about. And one of the things that I was thinking about just in preparation for this morning is, what does that hope do for us? For the follower of Jesus Christ, what does it mean to actually have hope and to have an opportunity to rest in who he is? And Paul talks about that a little bit in 2 Corinthians. In 2 Corinthians, Paul is, of course, writing to the church who's at Corinth. And he says this. He says, indeed, let me start in verse 8 of 2 Corinthians verse 1. 2 Corinthians 1, verse 8. "For we do not want you to be ignorant, brothers, of the affliction that we experienced in Asia. For we were so utterly burdened beyond our strength that we despaired even life itself. Indeed, we felt that we received the sentence of death that was to make us rely not on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead." Did you catch that? I'm going to stand up because there's bugs crawling all over me. He says, we held on to something that got us through a very difficult situation. And the thing that we held on to was this reality that we had received a sentence of death. We felt like things were not going well for us, and we received a sentence of death. But indeed, he says, but that was to make us rely not on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead. I was talking with a brother from our church this week who's been going through a little bit of a challenge just in their personal family. And I asked him how he was doing, and he said, Pastor Jeff, the trials that I'm walking through, I embrace them because trials give me an opportunity to rest in God and to see how God will provide. And I thought, man, that's such a great perspective to think about. Trials give us an opportunity to rest in God, and that's really what Paul is saying here. That the purpose of the trial was to make us rely not on ourselves, but on God who raises the dead. For he delivered us from such a deadly peril, and he will deliver us again. On him we have set our hope that he will deliver us again. And for the follower of Jesus Christ, that is our hope. That's our goal. That's our desire, that he will deliver us. And so as the sun rises this morning, and I'll just spin around, and hopefully that doesn't make you too dizzy, spin around and give you the view of the sun coming up. I trust that that just is a beautiful picture for you of who God is and what he's done on this Easter Sunday as we celebrate his resurrection. God bless you and have a wonderful day. Before you tune off, though, I do want to remind you that on our website, we're going to provide a resource for you and your family. So if you go to our website right now, underneath this video, there'll be a downloadable PDF that gives you an opportunity to read through the resurrection story from John 20. I encourage you to do that as a family and to spend some time reflecting on those characters who were present with Jesus at the resurrection. God bless you. Have a great day. We'll see you at 11 o'clock for our live stream celebrating Easter Sunday today. God bless.